Never secondary.
Yeah.
We're legendary.
The BC Golf Swing continues in Victoria, where the competition heats up as everyone jockeys for victory and a berth at the RBC Canadian Open. At the Bayview Place DCBank Open, presented by Times Colonist. And then...
I'm a little bit nervous about it.
Players are soaring to new heights as they take a moment from the action to experience the best views of Victoria. And later...
Over the last 5 years, we've raised almost $360,000. All the dollars that are raised are going to be going to our Innovation and Mental Health Fund.
The Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada continues its work to positively affect the local community. All that and more starts now. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. The Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada is back for the second stop on the BC Golf Swing, the Bayview Place DCBank Open, presented by Times Colonist. Now in its 6th year, the tournament has grown into a major event on the Victoria and Vancouver Island sports calendar, thanks in part to its biggest supporter, developer of Bayview Place, Ken Mariash.
We hoped that this would become a center for golf for Canada, and that's a responsible thing to do. We're definitely proud of the golf, seeing some of the people that played here on the leaderboard throughout the seasons. Terrific.
Bayview Place DCBank Open is a special event to Ken and Patricia Mariash because they believe in providing Canadian players a platform to play a sport that they're very passionate about. And so for the city of Victoria, having this as a stop on the Mackenzie Tour, to be able to provide that opportunity is pretty cool.
We have taken that and embellished it to make it all good for the community and bring charities into it and the community into it. You know, I think we've done our part.
It's a lot of hard work to make it happen, a lot of commitment and passion by a lot of people. And so the fact that we have been able to do that, and I say we as in the Golf Society, since 1981, and here we are in 2019, and it's still going. I think that says a lot about the city that we live in. I hope it just continues on into the future and grows and develops and becomes even better.
In addition to spreading their love for the game of golf, the Mariash family has also invested in the development of the city.
Bayview Place is a 20-acre master plan development. We've virtually finished our what we call the upper 10 acres. We have 4 buildings that exist on that land, and we have our development permit for what will be our 5th tower on the lower 10 acres, which we sort of refer to as the roundhouse lands. One of the cool things is the E&N ended, the line ended, and the roundhouse exists on our property. And so one thing that the community in general is really excited about is us to develop that into something like a kind of a funky market and sort of bring this whole area to life. This 20-acre piece of property was a very derelict piece of land. So to see it today have blossomed and become a really sought-after place to live, that's a good thing.
Over the last 6 years, Mackenzie Tour players have experienced everything the island has to offer. From whale watching and fishing.
Yeah, this is a little bigger. Oh yeah, come on, buddy.
To sampling some of Victoria's finest fare and everything in between. This capital city, nestled into the craggy coast on the southern tip of Vancouver Island, has always been a most gracious host. Up next.
I don't know what to say. It was the best week of my golfing life. The support the city and this crowd and the volunteers showed me was chilling.
We flash back to 2016 and Adam Cornelson's record-setting run at Uplands Golf Club. And then...
Beautiful views, and we got to see some golf courses and just the whole city of Victoria.
Some of the boys take a break from the grind for a bird's-eye view of Victoria. All that and more when this is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada returns. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.
I wasn't thinking about hitting a number. I wasn't thinking about breaking a record. I was refusing to let my mind wander, you know, and when that chip started rolling, I think I finally let it out a little bit, but I don't really remember what happened.
In this week's Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada playback, British Columbia native Adam Cornelsen kicked off his 2016 season in record-breaking fashion at the Bayview Place DCBank Open presented by Times Colonist, winning the tournament by 5 strokes ahead of American Taylor Moore. With an astounding 20 under par finish, his 72-hole combined score of 260 not only smashed the local tournament record of 15 under par, but also replaced the previous Mackenzie Tour 72-hole record of 261 set by Brock Mackenzie.
I don't know what to say. It was the best week of my golfing life. The support the city and this crowd and the volunteers showed me was chilling. I was trying not to show it, but I've never felt support like that in my life, and it gave me so much energy to continue on. It was phenomenal.
Coupled with his second-place finish at the National Capital Open later that season, Cornelsen finished the season ranked number 5 in the Order of Merit and was awarded Canadian Player of the Year honors.
We were going on a seaplane today and going to go tour Victoria.
Before the start of the competition, players Van Thomas, Carson Roberts, Eric McCardle, and Zane Thomas got a chance to experience the best views of Victoria with a little help from Harbor Air.
Pretty excited. It's awesome. I'm a little bit nervous about it.
If your name is called, please proceed to the departure area.
It's going to take off southbound and then climb up to about 2,000 feet, over uplands, and then take a tour of the city, and then come around and land westbound here. Everybody's ready? Ready. Let's go.
I've seen movies and stuff of these planes before, and I always kind of wanted to go on one. Beautiful views, and we got to see some golf courses and trees and just the whole city of Victoria. I can't thank the tour and Keith enough for putting this on for us. It's awesome. Love it.
With a trip around the bay, great views, and good company, the Players Tour came to an end. But not without a few memories to leave with.
I love traveling. I'd like to see the world, and Canada was beautiful last year, and this is probably my favorite spot of the year last year, and it's turning out to be another good one this year.
Coming up after the break on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.
Being a part of an organization that's trying to help kids now, but then setting them up for success in the future, I think that that's probably the most rewarding thing.
We see how the Children's Health Foundation of Vancouver Island is making a difference, thanks in part to the Bayview Place DCBank Open presented by Times Colonist. And then
you get out what you put in. If you do good things happen.
We take a walk with the 2019 Canada Life Open champion, Jake Knapp. All that and more when we return. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. Supporting and serving the community you live in is something we all strive to accomplish throughout our lifetime. And the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada stop in Victoria continued to do just that. For the past 5 years, the Bayview Place DCBank Open presented by Times Colonist has proudly supported the Children's Health Foundation of Vancouver Island.
We are a 92-year-old organization. This is our 6th year of being the chosen charity for the Bayview Open, and the support has grown in the community.
Collaborating with the tournament, local communities, partner organizations, and donors, the foundation raises funds to support island children with disabilities and mental health challenges.
We know that 1 in 5 kids face a mental health crisis at some point in their life. And so mental health does actually impact all sorts of families across the islands.
I grew up in Oak Bay, I had, my parents were married and we had this nice house and this perfect little life, and it still happened to me. It's a big spectrum for the youth that are coming through our doors. It takes a lot of courage to come in and say, hey, I'm an addict, I need help, or hey, I'm depressed, or I feel like killing myself, I need help. You know, coming from my own experiences, it was really hard to come clean about that stuff. The Foundry was there. They were anonymous. You know, I didn't have to tell my parents I was coming here. I didn't have to do anything, and they respected me and they treated me like a person as soon as I walked in.
Offering programs that provide early intervention services to children and youth with physical disabilities and health challenges, along with providing centers for children, youth, and families. The Foundation's objective is to ensure all island families have access to the health care they need.
Just walking through the doors to address your own health needs is a life skill, and it's something that you have to be the most courageous when you might be suffering the most.
Kids walk in and they might be a bit skeptical about clinicians, nurses, doctors, but when they meet a peer who can speak to them from their own lived experience, it makes all the difference. And sometimes that's all that's really needed in order to make the connection with the young person who's having the struggle.
With the support from the community and the Bayview Place DCBank Open presented by Times Colonist, the Foundation continues to achieve their overall goal and purpose: awareness.
Every time we go out and, you know, we've got volunteers there selling tickets, chalking it up on the course, it's really allowed us to really heighten the awareness of what we're trying to raise funds for.
Every year, as a part of our sponsorship, we've always hosted a party or a get-together of some sort that would acknowledge and honor our volunteers and the sponsors. I talked to one lady at the event out of 600 people, and she was like, I had no idea that the Children's Health Foundation did that, or what they did. And so I said, okay, our work here is done. You know, if one person became more aware of that cause, then it was a good thing.
Over the last 5 years, we've raised almost $360,000. All the dollars that are raised at the Bayview Open are going to be going to our Innovation in Mental Health Fund. And that's going to be supporting young people like who are having mental health challenges, and they need a place like Foundry Victoria to go where they can access support, both in terms of peer support, but also clinical support as well.
Just in the short time that we've been in this building, you know, we've basically outgrown it. It's gotten so big so fast.
We're very appreciative of the support that the Bayview Open provides to the Children's Health Foundation. Without the exposure that's been given to us over the last 5 years, we probably wouldn't have reached as many people in Victoria, in BC, across Canada through such a great golf tournament. And for that, we are very, very appreciative.
After a 3-year grind on Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada, 24-year-old Jake Knapp finally posted a victory at the very first event of the 2019 season, the Canada Life Open. And he gave the Mackenzie Tour an exclusive look into his golf journey in this week's On the Bag.
So far, the season's obviously been great. Obviously, getting a win at the first turn of the year is what I would say everybody wants to do. I've played well there in the past, so I was excited to go out there and play well again, and then this time to come out with a win is, you know, what you want. Ooh, breaks a lot. My goal for the season was to get a win this year. That doesn't change now that I've won once. It doesn't change to just win that one time. Now I want to win multiple times and keep on doing it. And now that I know I can, I think everybody's goal is to finish inside that top 5. And you know, now being at the top, obviously after the first event of the year, I'd like to stay there. Back left, kind of like middle-ish back right, like even with the lip of that bunker. Yeah, I mean, obviously I've been out here a few years, and I try to help out any of the guys if they want help on the course, or if they want to play practice run with me or whatever it might be. It started a long time ago. When I was a kid, like your typical junior golfer, would get pretty upset and expected a lot out of myself. And my coach, John Ortega, had all sorts of funny names for me and nicknames and stuff like that. So one of the ones he was kind of going towards with the Walrus was kind of after Craig Stadler. Craig Stadler was kind of known for his temper and getting a little upset, and so the Walrus was more so to remind me not to get so upset, stay calm, relax. Pretty big hip hop guy. If I listen to, I'd say mainly stuff from 2005-ish, 2010. I don't listen to a ton of new artists. Love Miracle. I can watch Miracle like day in, day out, no problem. Big fan of Last Samurai, and then my number one pick is probably Fight Club. Best, most vivid memory as a Lakers fan. Well, I went to Kobe's last game as a Laker at home, so I mean that's a pretty cool memory. I think got a little teary-eyed there. You know, it's the last time you're going to see him, and you grew up watching him your entire life. This is definitely one of my favorites. I think Victoria is one of the cooler ones because it's great and you just get to walk around, kind of see the city a little bit. I'm pretty lucky to be able to do this for a living, and you know, to be able to have your passion be your career is something I'm very lucky to be able to do. So to have a tour like this to give me the opportunity to get to the next level is amazing.
Up next on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. The Bayview Place DCBank Open presented by Times Colonist goes down to the wire. And the field at the RBC Canadian Open is set.
Canada's moving in the right direction. There's a bunch of them playing on the PGA Tour now, and a few on the web, and lots of good talent on the Mackenzie Tour too.
Ontario's own Michael Gligic will be there after the break. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. When the weekend rolled in at the Bayview Place DCBank Open presented by Times Colonist, a familiar face was among the top 25. Victoria's own Jim Rutledge.
No pressure on myself by any means, but I'd like to play well. It's been a great week. It's fun, you know what I mean? If I got in the tournament through all the qualifiers that we had, you know, I just go out there and have some fun, you know, enjoy it. I'm at the age where I'm not moving on in my career, but a lot of these guys are. They're prepared when they get here. They've gone through the university ranks. You know, they're very, very confident, and they have a lot of good games.
Doc Redmond exhibited why he had one of the best collegiate careers in the history of Clemson University on Saturday, firing his second consecutive 65 at Uplands Golf Course.
I felt comfortable all day and knew that if I just stayed patient and gave myself chances that they'd drop and I'd be in a good position.
The 21-year-old North Carolina native battled Zach Cabra all day long, but closed with a two-stroke lead over France's Paul Barjon. Coming off a decorated amateur career and a T19 at the season opener in Vancouver, his belief in himself was strong.
It's just great to get off to a good start. It puts you in a good position going forward, and you can build off of it. You know, I have a lot of confidence after last week, and then no matter what happens tomorrow, I'll have a lot of confidence going into the rest of the year and know that if I continue to play well, I'll be up by the lead.
Sunday crowds lined up to see Redmond and Barjon battle for the second title of the season. The two were all tied up after 9 holes, and that's when the fireworks began. First, a critical par save for Redmond after finding water off the tee. And 2 holes later on 12, Barjon knocked it on the green in 2, leaving himself 40 feet for eagle to reclaim the lead.
I hit a great shot and I left the pin in, which I don't really do. I usually pull it, but I was like, it can only help me. It was a good putt. It probably would have rolled a little past, if I'm honest. Probably at least a good 5-6 feet. You need a little bit of momentum like this one, just kind of going your way, and it helps for sure.
The pair exchanged birdies down the stretch, but Redmond failed to convert a long one on the 72nd hole, leaving Barjon a tap-in par for the win.
Everything ended up going my way, so I just wanted to get an opportunity to, you know, compete on the last day and get a shot at winning. No, we had a great match with Doc. He made a pretty big charge towards the end, so that kind of got in my head for sure.
The 26-year-old from New Caledonia, France, finished with 3 birdies and an eagle for a bogey-free 65 and a 1-stroke victory.
It was great. I mean, it was so much fun. It gives you a little taste of how crazy it is out there on the PGA Tour, for sure.
With the win, Barjon takes the early lead in the order of merit, just ahead of Jake Knapp, who won the very first event of the season. Doc Redmond, Brian Carlson, and James Allenby round out the top 5. But with 10 more events to go, a good start is most important.
It's huge to win in the first 2 events. It's a great start. It's just a long year. There's 12 tournaments, so there might be 12 winners, and only the top 10 goes to the final stage. You gotta play good, even if you win once.
Barjon's victory came with an added bonus, exemption into the PGA Tour's RBC Canadian Open in Hamilton, Ontario. He joins Canada Life Open champ Jake Knapp and 2018 Mackenzie Tour alum Michael Glickig as one of 3 representing the Mackenzie Tour on the world stage.
I actually Monday qualified for the Valero in San Antonio. I missed the cut by a couple. That was my first PGA Tour. I'm looking forward to get back out there again, and you know, I have a little experience, so hopefully I can pull it off this time.
Mackenzie Tour grads are proving themselves at the next level.
Corey Connors' day indeed has arrived. He's a winner on the PGA Tour.
Ontario native Corey Connors is one of 3 Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada grads who've won on the PGA Tour this season, and one of 5 alumni ranked inside the top 50 in the FedEx Cup. Graduates currently competing on the Web.com Tour have won half of the 14 events this season, including Canadian Michael Glickig.
I still can't really believe it, to be honest. You come to every golf tournament hoping to win. To actually win is a whole different ballgame. Canada's moving in the right direction. We've had a good bunch come up the ranks, and you know, there's a bunch of them playing on the PGA Tour now, and a few on the web, and lots of good talent on the Mackenzie Tour too.
Who will be the next to test their skills against the game's best? Find out as the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada season marches on. Next time on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. One final event of the BC Golf Swing remains in Kelowna, the Golf BC Championship, where last year George Cunningham took on Gallagher's Canyon Golf and Country Club and conquered it, with his dad on the bag. Watch all the action unfold next time on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.